All right. So, Aesop Rock has an album coming out in, just a handful of days. It's coming out on November 10th, 2023, titled Integrated Tech Solutions. I feel like his last album dropped around the same time. Pure World Survival Guide. Yeah, I think that came out like November 10th or something, 2020. But anyways, he has an album coming out in a little bit. And along with that album, he's brought us a new single titled Mindful Solutionism. And before we even get into the song and what he says on the song, what does mindful solutionism mean? Well, solutionism means the belief that all difficulties have benign solutions, often of a technocratic nature. Now, what is a technocratic nature? Well, that is of or relating to a technocrat or technocracy. And essentially what that means is this is a system of governance where people are skilled or proficient in their respective areas of expertise, often technology related, or they're an expert in some sort of technology. So, title being Mindful Solutionism means, or we can assume it to mean, that there is a reasonable solution for everything, and that solution is tech related, which might lead me to believe that this album is probably going to touch on AI and stuff. So I'm excited to hear Aesop Rock's thoughts on this. But that's enough preamble. Let's get into the song. Let's fucking go.
2.5 million years ago, a friend of mine made.
We already got weird beats. Who produced this song? I'm assuming it's Ace, but it doesn't say yet.
The tool from a stone and defended his tribe's technology. Sorry for the technical term. It's a wheel, then a fire, and the rest is a blur.
Technology. Everything's technology, according to Ace. Like 2.5 million years ago, we made a tool out of stone, and that's what we used to fight off ne'er-do-wells. And then proceeds to further explain what technology is.
The method isn't free until the mechanism follow that.
This beat is wild.
Technology. Answering to build a more sophisticated widget.
Ace always raps in a really strange way, but it's generally enjoyable. What I've gathered so far is that this just sounds like it's going to be an intro track to the album, or at least like the second track, like right after the intro, like the intro where he's just going to say a bunch of random shit, and then this is the actual song that goes in the album. Is this a clean version? All right, well, we didn't really miss much with that that cutout, but Ace is he's so far just talking about technology in general, and I think what's happening is he's leading up to new technology after all this. Like he's going down a timeline of sorts. The cat is out of the bag, and the cat in this case is Kirby. Oh, but I think he's basically just saying like, whatever they've learned, whatever technology they figured out, it's out of the bag. Or whatever's hiding behind all the technology, like whatever secrets there are, that's out of the bag. Or some wild shit like that. Yeah, I feel like he's just listing off technologies almost in order. Because if you go back to the first verse, he said 2.5 million years ago. But I'm assuming he's like, it started 2.5 million years ago, and then started talking about stones and rocks, and the wheel, then fire, and then all this other shit. Now he's talking about aqueducts.
Put a shoe on a horse, shoot a man with a gun. You could fix anything with a laser.
So I think he's at the point in terms of history where he's caught up, more or less. So I think if there is another verse, well, yeah, there's enough time for another verse. There's going to be another verse, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to be talking about some wild shit. Maybe he's going to be talking about the Jetsons and flying cars.
You could get a robot limb for your blown off limb.
Yeah, he's just going forward into the future now. He's talking about cyberpunk shit. Is that what Ace did in the meantime? Like after Garbology, did he just play cyberpunk?
Later on, the same technology could automate your gig, as awesome as it is. Way to get.
There's an AI reference.
It's not about a better knife, it's chemistry and genocide and medicine for tempering the heck in a projector light.
So now he's getting to the point where he's like, wait a minute, technology's going a little bit too far. Hold on, we need to reel it back.
Landmines, Agent Orange, leaded gas, cigarette.
Oh yeah, like all those things that you just mentioned. Like, it's not necessarily. I don't want to get into politics about it, but like maybe he's saying that all these things have negative connotations to them, and he doesn't think that they're really a necessity.
Cameras in your favorite corners, plastic in the wilderness. We cannot be trusted.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely worried about plastic in the wilderness, assuming he still lives in a cabin in the woods.
Focus on the other 3D printed body parts, dehydrated onion dip. You could buy it.
Yeah, so he had like a mild crisis and then was like, oh no, focus on the other things. Focus on the good part. Sweet. So that song kind of did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It followed a very predictable setup and follow through and storyline. But that does not mean it is a bad song. I think I enjoyed that song. Aesop Rock went on a bit of a history lesson where he's just kind of ran through all of the technologies that we've had throughout history and eventually got to the point where it's kind of now times, but maybe a little bit in the future. And he started having like a mild existential crisis to the point where he's like, oh no, we have landmines and Agent Orange and leaded gas and cigarettes and there's cameras everywhere and there's plastic in the trees, but never mind, it's okay, focus on the good things. It's like, I think everyone kind of goes through that at some point, and I think this is kind of the right time for it because AI has been such a major part of like the last year or so. Like everyone's been so invested in AI solutions and technology and just moving it forward that, I mean, there's some people, and I mean, not even some, just a good amount of people who have some hesitation towards it. And I feel like that's a reasonable response to it. And yeah, Ace is just voicing those thoughts and opinions regarding it. The song itself, I mean, it sounds like an Aesop Rock song, all things considered. Like the beat is a little wild. He just kind of goes off and just goes crazy with whatever he's saying. This is interesting. This as a song. Obviously, the video is not out for it yet. I didn't want to wait till the morning. But usually Ace's album or Ace's videos are kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they actually furthers the song. Sometimes it's just random stuff. In this case, I feel like it actually might further the song. But regardless, this is an interesting song for sure. I don't know how well this will play into an entire album, though, is my concern. Although, did have those concerns with Spirit World Survival Guide just a little bit. So maybe the integrated technology systems part of this is that everything's kind of related. So he's going to tie everything back to another major idea or kind of delve deeper into individual ideas that he mentioned on this song. I don't know. I mean, realistically, he's going to put out another song before this album comes out because we're not getting this album for another 2 months. I was being very facetious when I was saying it's coming out soon. Like 2 months is pretty long. Like, I guess it's also like he's going on a more traditional rollout approach to it than what a lot of other people are doing. Like Nas just announced that he's putting out an album this week, and it's already about to be out. So, who am I to judge? Anyways, Let me know in the comments below what you think of this song and where you think the album is going to go given the context and topics of this song. And while you're down there, also like and subscribe to see more thoughts like this, where I just kind of go off and try to understand what Ace is talking about. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.